Hello there everybody, this is Graham, also known as the Collector 75. Welcome to another Transformers review. Right, for this one I thought I'd do the ehobby release of Generation 1 Megaplex. As you can see, it is basically just Generation 1 Megatron. He was called Megaplex due to the fact it was a homage to, of course, the original Transformers release in Japan, which I have here. This is his original Japanese release in Japan from 1985. I paid about £200 for this actually. I have reviewed this in one of my first reviews actually. It was a homage to this one because this one didn't have no chrome and it had blue legs on the inside, whereas you can see the picture has red. And if you look at the actual picture on the top here, it has chrome and red legs, much like pretty much the US release of Megatron. But this was different. We're going to put that to one side again. And then we come to Megaplex. Oh, pardon me. Megaplex wasn't like I say, it was a homage to that one, but also it took its name from the Machine Wars. And I'm going to, if I remember to, upload, just put in a picture of Machine Wars Megaplex right about now. Right, so if I've done that, you'll have seen a picture of the Machine Wars release of Megaplex. And Megaplex, if you read his bio on that, he was just a sort of like a drone figure that was exactly the same as Megatron, mainly just sent to confuse the Autobots, so they might think that was Megatron or something to that effect. A bit like much taking the storyline from the old Generation 1 decoys that came out in about 1987, something like that, which was fair enough. So anyway, so they decided to mix the two together and we come up with Generation 1 Megaplex, which is like a different style of colour of Generation 1 Megatron, really. And so we come on to the figure itself. It is much the same, of course, as Megatron, and this is Megatron with all the attachments. And I still say this is probably one of the best Transformers ever. I absolutely think it's amazing. I had so much fun with this as a kid, and you'd never ever get a toy like this released again these days because of all the not health and safety, but all the people that would say, oh no, you can't have a kid running around with a realistic looking gun. Which is fair enough, I suppose, but it really does take the fun out of life, doesn't it? Because I absolutely adored this when I was a kid. Well, my original Generation 1 Megatron anyway. Right, so I'm not going to go on too much about all his attachments and everything because, like I said, I've reviewed Megatron and indeed the original Japanese Megatron before. The original Japanese Megatron didn't actually come with any attachments apart from a sword and a gun, which I'll come to a bit later. So anyway, we start taking these attachments off. Well, that one didn't want to budge, did it? I always like the look of that. Actually, it looks like he's probably got a silencer on. I love that. Right, so we take all the attachments off and then we're left with just the Walther P38 Megatron. And as you can see, he's got his nice little rub sign there and everything. And to be honest, it is very good. The only thing that does annoy me is, of course, this is die-cast metal on here, and with all the grey, just normal grey plastic, it does stand out a little bit. Other than that, it's fine. It looks pretty good on Megatron because all the rest of it was obviously chromed and so never stood out. As you can see, when you pull the trigger, it does make a noise, and if I open up my original one, because it does come with the pellets, but I don't have any of them off the sprue for the ehobby version, but I do from my original Megatron. And let me just see if I can get one out quickly. I should have got one out earlier really, without losing it. I did show this before, but this will be the first time I've actually fired this ehobby Megaplex. So all we did was we get the little blue pellet, and then as you can see, just a little hole in there. Just pop it in, and it should hold it in place. No, it doesn't want to know. So we're going to get that out again. Right, we're going to try this again. Can be. There we go. Once you've got it in there, so it's like that, we're now going to pull the trigger, and all it does is basically just pulls back a little lever, and that is actually pretty damn cool. Except the fact that if you tilt the gun like that, it's going to fall out. But other than that, it's pretty cool, like that. Right, so on to Megaplex himself. Let's transform this guy. And I'm not going to harp too much on about the transformation, as I've done it several times. Just push out the feet. Open out these. These are a bit stiffer on this gun. As you can see, it's got the blue legs on the inside. Push that like that. One noticeable difference I do notice with this guy is the quality of the plastic. The plastic doesn't feel as good as my original Generation 1 Megatron, which I've got down. Yeah, it's Megatron, isn't it? Down there, the plastic seems very. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's almost. The original plastic is much more sturdy. This stuff feels like it would bend before it breaks, rather than the old plastic would break, if you know what I mean, if you applied enough force. But this would just bend and can cause problems, obviously, when you're moving bits about. Anyway, so we come down like this, separate the arms, much like we always do with Megatron, and then we rotate these up and just tilt these forward. Cool, bloody hell, these are stiff joints, which is always good. And we're going to put them there. And then with this, now this is where I'm saying, because this section here doesn't really want to raise up too well. I don't know why. It does get stuck for some reason in there. I managed to do this the other day. There we go. It does get caught in there for some reason, and because I didn't realise that the other day, I don't know if it's going to go too well, and you're going to see inside. But there's a tiny little plastic right around this section inside. Because I couldn't lift this up, I couldn't remember. I just turned it and put enough force in it, and it's bent a bit of the plastic inside. Luckily, it doesn't seem to affect it in any way. But that's what I'm saying about the plastic. It's I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, really, but the feel of the plastic feels slightly cheaper. Anyway, so you've rotated that around, and then we're going to just rotate the barrel round, much like usual, and put it in that position. Then we're going to come back to this section here. We're going to do the arms first, I think, and then push out the little hands, like so. Then flip him round. And now, the only thing I don't like about this, in my original one, it definitely clicked into place better. This one doesn't seem to click. It goes into place, but doesn't click, and never feels as solid in there, unfortunately. So then we just sort of like move out his legs. He does have a problem with his legs. He never wants to stand up just how you want him. And that is Generation 1 Megaplex. He doesn't have a Decepticon insignia or nothing, but you can put his fusion cannon on his arm, like so. Is he falling down on that leg, or is it just because he just wants to fall over? There we go, so there's Megatron, or Megaplex, in robot mode. And he looks just as good as Megatron in my eyes. Now, it does come with a silver sword, which is always good. I'm going to retake this fusion cannon off, because it just gets in the bloody way otherwise. And then he has a little peg just there, and a little hole just in his fist, and then we can push that in there. It should go in pretty well. And then he holds his sword. And it looks pretty cool in my opinion. Now it does come with a little chromed gun as well, but I can't get mine out of the bloody box of the ehobby one. Not without destroying the box for some reason, so I'm going to use my original one, and it should just fit on his hand. It's a little bit loose on this one. Whether that's because it's the ehobby one or not, I don't really know, but either way. Anyway, it would fit on his hand like that. And I was never too keen on it, even when I was a kid, to be honest. I don't think I used it that much. But also he does come, which is pretty cool, with his little ball and chain, because obviously the ehobby Megaplex release was released just after the first time Megatron was re-released ever back in Japan, and it was called the 16S or 16 Special, and it came with this, which was a purple. That one, it was a purple ball and chain, but this one comes with a yellow ball and chain, and it should fit much like his gun, just straight in there, and covers up his hand. And then you've got his ball and chain. And if you want my opinion, it looks pretty cool actually. It looks alright. It looks a lot better than the bloody masterpiece, bloody ball and chain, if you want my opinion. It works a lot better. Right, and so that is Megaplex. Whatever all these parts, of course, you can create the particle beam cannon. Because obviously, I'm not going to do it right now, because I've done that on a few others. Of course, you just, what the hell, might do if I can remember it. You just open out these little sections here. You get this, open out that goes into there. This then goes under there. Open out these. like so, and then that just fits into there, and there we have his cannon. Oh yeah, you can put his fusion cannon on there as a little extra sight if you want. We just move Megaplex back so you can see this, and there it is, and it's quite articulated and everything like that. And the good thing about this version over the American release, because that had the little pellet system taken out, is you can again pop a little pellet just in that little hole in there, and with this, the same mechanism that's inside Megaplex himself, and it will fire pellets out of this, which is pretty cool. It's a nice little I can't even say the word, little addition. Right, so this has been ehobby Megaplex. Is it as good as the original Megatron? No, this one is seriously just for collectors, really, because obviously they just wanted to just re-release the original Megatron, which had the unchromed parts and the blue legs. I believe there is one with an unchromed body and the red legs. I think that one came with the Versus X set, I believe. Anyway, I mean, if you wanted to, you could probably create your own. Just take him apart, certain bits here on his arms and everything, and swap bits over from Megatron to create your own ones. So there's no real, if you wanted to, that is. Right, anyway, so that has been Megaplex, and this has been Graham, the Collector 75, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.